Amy.
Hey, Jack.
I'm gay.
Oh my god, that is so funny. I'm also gay. I was going to tell you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
And you're listening to Dating Straight.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Taryn.
Hi, guys.
Wow.
I didn't know where I was supposed to come in.
I've noticed that Jack has stopped saying hi to the guests, so I took a beat before I did it.
Amy always says it first, and then I'm just like, it's like, hey, Taryn, hey, oh, hey,
Yeah.
you know, it's
And
just,
then we're both like, how are you? And Jack's like, what's up? And then we say it at the same time.
It
Yeah.
just did feel like there was too much space. Like you guys could have come in a
I
little
know, it's
sooner
just-
with the hi. But that's cool. It's cool.
well, I figured you guys are in person together, so I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
never
I don't
be
know.
able to
I
jump
was just
in
like-
as fast.
I was
That's
as caffeinated. I was feeling funky. Okay. Today on the show, we have Taryn Arnold. She is a writer, a podcast host, queen of investments, overall genius.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for coming on Dating
Overall,
Straight.
genius is really important to me. Thank you so much.
I think that you are a smart cookie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you sound
What?
smart. You give off like put together energy.
Yes.
Which I find really interesting because I don't feel like I dress the part. Do I feel like I look put together?
Well,
I don't answer that. Let's move on.
I mean, but yeah, you do. You have rings on. You have an
One.
Apple Watch.
True.
Dare I say, I think
You
the
got
people
shoes
who don't feel like they have to prove to put themselves together clothes-wise
Oh,
because
yeah.
they have it.
Yeah.
They know they have the it factor.
Mm.
Are
Hence,
you calling me the it girl?
hence my Costa Rica green tree frog shirt.
Very fashion forward.
Think of like, who's the guy? Mark Zuckerberg? Is that the Facebook guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
He like dresses like whatever.
That's
And
a
he's so rich.
that's like a crazy productivity technique where they just wear the same shirt so that they don't have to make.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah, it's like they
cool.
take away beliefs or they take away like extra choices that are gonna drain their energy, and so they eat the same thing every day. They wear the same thing
Oh my
every
God,
day.
it sounds like me, but I don't do that as a productivity thing.
But you're doing it deep down. That's lovely.
but I'm not productive at all.
Yeah, and I just sit down.
But what's productivity anyway?
Please rate, review, subscribe. We have a Patreon, so check it out. We do a newsletter, live streams, extra episodes every single month. Leave a review saying, Taryn, if you had to leave a review of this show, what would it be?
I might say something like this.
Okay.
Hello, person reading this review. Lean in close.
Ooh.
Listen to the words I have to say.
You're gonna sit them down?
I'm going to sit you down. And I might just say, this show is worth your time. Trust me.
Oh.
Wow.
Try it.
Have
Go.
you listened to this show?
I have. I've told you guys that.
You have?
Yeah. When I first started dating Cam, I don't remember if she was on the show around that time or something, but I started listening to it and then I was like, this is really funny. You guys have like a real fun vibe going on.
Well, good.
Because a
Thank
lot
you.
of podcasts are so bad, you know?
Thank you.
And yours is
Name
very
5.
Yours is great.
Thank you.
I'd write that in the review too. They're all bad.
A lot
This
of
one's
podcasts
cute.
are really bad.
But not this one.
That's the headline.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. So we're gonna do a little catch up. Time to catch up from so much has gone on since we recorded our last episode yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Amy, do you wanna hop in?
Yeah, I will do it. Okay. I was quickly trying to think if I could think of a different catch up, but I can't. Okay, so you guys, I was gonna go on a third date tonight,
Ooh, she wild.
but I canceled
Okay.
because I don't want to be happy. Woo!
Wait, why'd you cancel? What's the real reason?
Well, the real reason is this week is kind of hectic with podcasting
Okay.
and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Did your was that your tummy? I literally
My
thought that was like
stomach.
the piping of the home.
My stomach is like, eat, bitch. It's anyway.
I can get you something. You want me to get?
I brought with me
it's good, yeah.
a Larabag to eat before the show, but then I forgot it now. I'm really caffeinated. So I canceled.
You're exhausted. You were exhausted.
Yeah, because you know when you're it's like just trying to get to know someone, it can be even more exhausting sometimes
Then what?
than sitting down. So I didn't
don't
want to
know
like
that.
go into something exhausted and then like be even more exhausted of like trying to figure out like what do I say next? Like
I get that.
okay, and then what? So I just like wasn't really in the mood.
That's a real thing. That's
I
okay.
like that like
Yeah, so I
1
canceled.
hour of podcasting like ruins Amy's day. She's like,
Okay, we did 2 hours yesterday and an hour the day before.
That is a lot.
Thank
and an hour today and an
you.
hour tomorrow. And
Yes.
then
That's
we're really doing it. We're like,
We're busy.
we took a break and then we're back. Season 2.
yeah. You guys are kind of crushing it. You're so casually being like, yeah, we're so busy. It's so draining, and that's good for you guys. That's
yeah,
fun.
no, thank you.
Yeah,
and Jack
congrats.
is
But-
doing that and school.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh damn.
I just
Can't
just
imagine.
figured out I have a 10-page paper due that I like didn't know about. It's awesome. But my catch up.
Why didn't you know about it?
I didn't think I knew you were in school.
Oh, well,
Cute.
yeah, I'm shooting
Oh.
for summa cum laude, the highest honor.
Oh
Um,
shit.
Yeah, going for that 3.9 and above.
Big.
I know it's huge. It's going to be huge. But
Story of the year.
actually I actually
It's
just
gonna be
turned
huge.
in a paper about religion. I'm in a class called God and the Human Experience. So my catch up is just that I'm very excited to talk with you today about your experience with God.
Oh my god, cute. Wait, that sounds like a really cool class.
It is actually cool. It is one of the cool ones.
Is
I have
actually
beef. I have
cool.
beef with some other ones. So like, you got a good read on that one. But yeah. So what's your catch up, Taryn?
What's my catch up? Well, I'm just feeling like the air is a little bit crisper. It's a little
Ugh,
lighter.
yeah.
Things are feeling really good right now. I'm getting a lot of work stuff popping up right now, which is really fun. I have like my full-time thing and then I consult on the side, and people are just popping out the woodwork on the side stuff, which has been really exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling the feeling of hope, the unfamiliar feeling of hope for the
Yeah.
first time in a long time.
I have just a brief thing. If you want to help me with hope, do you happen to have any
Yeah.
job connections that I should
Oh,
know about? I just added you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw.
I did. I done did see that. Yeah, you can tell me what you want to do, and we can do this later, or we can
I'll
do
figure
this
that
now.
out.
It's something in Los Angeles for sure.
Something in LA. Do you
Yeah.
have what are you studying?
Communication, baby.
That's what I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's probably why we sort of have this like psychic energy with each other, I think.
I do be feeling that. I knew
Yeah.
you were going to add me on LinkedIn.
Before I
You
added
felt
you.
it
Yeah, that was
coming.
crazy. You woke up
I
in the
know.
middle of the night and said,
I can feel it coming. Yeah, I'd be happy to help you.
great. That was just, I just
Cool.
wanted that commitment and a public platform. So if you don't get me a job, it's your fault.
Evidence, yeah.
Fair.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, let's take a little pause
Ooh.
to thank our advertisers.
Cute.
Thank you so much, Dipsy, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. So with a change of routine, which we've all obviously had, it's super easy to forget to check in with yourself, but Dipsy is here to help. Dipsy is an audio app full of short, sexy stories designed to turn you on and help you get in touch with yourself. The stories are both relatable and immersive. There's literally something for everyone. Whatever you're into, Dipsy's got it.
And they add new content every week, so there's always more to explore. Find stories about a spontaneous hookup with a hot stranger, getting closer with that sexy yoga instructor that you can't stop thinking about, or even stories about trying that new toy or getting tied up. Yeah, it's the
Whoa,
business.
not tied up.
Oh yeah, baby. The wellness sessions can also help you unlock new confidence or heighten intimacy with your partner. So, it could be solo or with a buddy. And they add new stories every week, so you'll never get bored. So spice things up today with Dipsy. And for listeners of the show, Dipsy is offering a 30-day free trial when you go to dipsyststories.com/straight. That's a 30-day free trial when you go to Dipsy, that's DIPSEA, stories.com/straight. Again, that's dipsyststories.com/straight.
Thanks, Dipsy. This episode is also sponsored by Betterhelp. We all know that I'm obsessed with therapy, and having like an online source of therapy, especially right now, is so important. Is there something interfering with your happiness and preventing you from achieving your goals? Some would say yes. I guess mine more specifically is my roommate left and I live alone again during this horrible time. So I love therapy, especially now. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours, which is super unique for therapy. Super important that you get the therapy exactly when you need it. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online.
Yeah. And BetterHelp has a broad range of expertises. So wherever you are, there's someone who will be able to help you that may not be locally available. And it's also available for clients worldwide. And you can log into your account at any time and send your a message to your counselor, and also set up times to video chat or have a chat on the phone. And you never have to wait in an uncomfortable waiting room. I know that I hate medical waiting rooms. They just skeeve me out. So BetterHelp is really nice for people like me. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great matches. So if you don't feel like you and your counselor are a perfect match, it's super easy and free to make a switch. And it's more affordable than traditional therapy, and financial aid is available. So BetterHelp wants you to start living your life happier today. Visit betterhelp.com/dating. That's betterhelp.com. And join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Special offer for Dating Straight listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/dating. That is 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/dating.
Thanks, BetterHelp. All right. Jack, you're up, baby.
All right. Good old religion. Good old God, Jesus et al.
Oh my goodness.
It's a
right?
really interesting concept. I am so excited to hear, Taryn, about your story. Would you mind walking us through just your how you met cute with
Jesus.
God?
My little meet cute. It actually was a pretty it was a cute vibe, I feel like, back then. Yeah. So how long should I go?
Go.
40 more minutes.
Okay. I'm just like, do I give the quick spiel?
No. Tell us.
Okay. So background of how I grew up. I have a mom and a dad and 2 brothers. My mom was Jewish. My mom is Jewish-y, like literally Jewish, I would say. She's not super practicing, but she grew up in this family that was very, very practicing. And as she's gotten older, she's been like, whatever happens. Let's celebrate the Jewish holidays because that's fun. And I like getting my family together. My dad was less religious, but on the Christian side of things, similar to my mom, where like he grew up going to church like most people do. A lot of people, at least in America, you just kind of pop in for Easter, you pop in for Christmas, and then you bounce. I never heard my parents talk about religion or God or anything. My entire life until when I started getting into it myself in high school. And even though we celebrated all the what is it, holidays, we did like Christmas, we did Hanukkah, we did Passover, we did all the things. I went to like a Jewish preschool called Temple Beth Shalom.
Oh,
That's what's up. That's what's
shout out to Temple Beth Shalom.
My teacher was Mrs. Cookie.
What?
Isn't that cute?
That's so sweet.
I know. She used to drive me to school, which I think is weird looking
Why?
back. I really don't be knowing why she drove me to school. But anyway, yeah, I'll think about that later. That is a little weird. And I feel like she was my swim teacher.
What?
He did everything. Cookie was also your nanny on the side.
She was my cookie bitch. Okay. So anyway, grew up with just this like very ambiguous feeling towards religion. Nobody really talked about it. I think in part because of how, this is going to sound really weird, but like my parents got together in a very tumultuous way. They were both married, fell in love, got together and had me. And I think that their whole relationship was based on this, like, everyone has a different journey and everyone gets to like do their own thing. And even if you take the road less traveled or a road that's like typically viewed as bad, it might not be bad for you. So their whole thing was like, I'm not going to deal with religion. It's fine. You can do it if you want. And then when I got into high school, my one of my best friends was super into church. Or this girl I started getting close to. She like wouldn't hang out on Sunday or on Saturday nights because she wanted to get a good night's sleep for church on Sunday morning.
Were her parents really Christian-y?
Her older sisters were, but like her
Okay.
parents weren't. They were like the typical kind of Christian people.
It was like a decision that she made.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so she was like really fired up, which like, I don't know, your guys' experience is probably similar. When people were like religious growing up, it was like it was like saying you're from California or that you're, it's just like a thing. It's not anything you actually care about, right? Is that your guys' experience with religion?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a Jewish school and there was some super Jewish people there.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
And I was like, okay.
And then we,
Yeah,
like,
for
had nothing in
me,
common.
I mean, I feel like no one said they were religious unless they were really religious. But that's like California,
Yeah.
like liberals,
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's fair. Well, I grew up in Orange County, so it was a little bit
different.
less.
San Diego and
yeah,
Orange County are different states.
Conservative.
I'll say it.
different worlds. Yeah. Thank God you said that. So I got really close with this girl and I was so intrigued by her life. I think it was the fact that she like really cared about something, like anything, where like kids my age, when you're like 13, it's just like you kind of go to school and you bop around and you wave at people and you like make fun of everyone and then you go home and go to bed and do it again.
Totally.
And like she like had something that she actually cared about that was big. And so I was always like, oh, I'll keep my eye on that. That's interesting. And then she sucked one of my good friends in, basically.
Oh my God,
and
how?
it's always the freaking youth group like things. It's like
Yep.
you go on the trips on the summer and then you fall in love with the little church girl and it's the whole
It always happens like that.
it always happens like that. It's like they're do you know, have you heard of ice blocking?
No,
Yep.
what is that?
They would ice block.
What's
It's like
ice
you
block?
get like a big block of ice from the 7-Eleven and you sit on it and you go down grass hills and you like
Oh, that is so fun.
it's so fun.
I thought it was
So
when
they
you put ice
trick
in your
you.
mouth and you have to pass it to
They-
the next person.
I
They
wouldn't
trick
say
you with a
they
good time.
They do. That's the carrot that
And
they
they, like,
dangle.
Pray on the way down. Like, when does the
No, so it's giving you a family. It's giving you a community.
totally
Like but like cults or like
like cults.
like other
Sure,
cults. It gives you a sense of shared purpose with people, and then you feel safe and you feel comfy and all that. So anyway, long story short, I was like, okay, they're all going to start doing this religion thing. I want to see what it's about. I'm going to see what's going down. And I asked my mom to take me to like a store to buy a Bible. And I would wake up every morning before high school and read my Bible for like half an hour to an hour every day.
Wow.
And go through, little study guides and all this stuff. And I just kind of fell in love with the ritual of it. I loved having something that I got to learn about that I didn't know about that felt so big and like meta and like it mattered. And from there, I was just like Miss Christian USA. I like led youth groups. I spoke at conferences. I was like the MC of my college group for all 4 years. I was very, very involved and loved it. And now I'm not super involved, but it was a good time. But looking back, there's like so many mixed feelings, you know? It was a really wild experience.
Were your parents like, this is so random? Like, were they like, what is happening? She is the MC of her youth group? What?
Yeah, I've always been like a team captain vibe and like a camp counselor vibe. So
I see that for you.
I do. So I think it just blended into religion really easily. You know, that part worked fine, but I think my parents were just a little confused at how like I wasn't like Miss Goody Two Shoes. I was like kind of a brat growing up. I made fun of people a lot. I was like very self-deprecating, and you know, I don't think that I was like the prime candidate to fall for religion. So I don't really know how it happened other than just me being interested. But I remember when I like accepted Jesus, which is like you pray this prayer and you say that Jesus is your savior. And basically that everyone else is going to hell unless they also believe in Jesus.
Oh, no. Wait, what was that day like? Were you like, okay, today is the day I'm going to accept Jesus?
Yeah. Yes. It's like a moment. It's
Okay.
like meant to be a moment. And
Did you get baptized?
I did get baptized later. But on that day, I Googled like the prayer, like how do you accept Jesus? And then this, you know, prayer shows up, and I was in my room and I was crying and I was saying it to myself, and
Wow.
it's like a whole thing. And then I wrote
Wow.
this letter to my parents and I slipped it under their door, and I was like, I'm a new woman.
How old were you when you?
I must have been like 14 or 15 maybe. I was
Wow.
like middle of high school. Yeah. And I put this little letter under their door and was like, I hope you can come to God someday. It would mean the world to me, and he loves you so much, and like all that stuff. And then in the morning they came in and were like, we love you. And I remember, what was that noise?
Your AirPods are dying, but we have more.
It was God.
God said, accept Jesus. Try it.
But yeah, and I think I put the letter under. They came in, said, we're proud of you. If you feel good about this, then that's on you. That's great. And then my mom said, just don't become a judgmental person. That's like my nightmare for you, is that you start judging anyone, especially gay people. And I didn't know at the time that I was that. And so I was just like, okay. And in my head, like, well, gay people are wrong. So like,
Wow.
she'll learn. She'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. True.
And then we found out.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm joking.
yeah, it was funky.
So, give me more on the gay people thing. I want to know, like,
Wait, did your groups like teach you gay bad?
No. There's like the saying that's, you know, love the sinner, hate the sin. Have you guys heard this?
Oh, okay.
It's like a
It's not gay people's fault that they're gay.
yeah, it's not their fault.
Okay.
well, even if it is
There's a
their
lot-
fault, also, like, they can still be, you can still be wrong and still, like, love them, even for their wrongness.
Yeah. So I think a cool thing that religion can do is like it gives you a roadmap for the question of like, what does it all mean and what do I do and whatever. And one of the things that is discussed like early in the Bible is that a man and a woman are meant to be together, right? And so you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like their parts go together. Like that's how you have babies. Gay people can't have babies together. Okay, like I get it. And even if it feels wrong in your heart that like people shouldn't be able to love each other, even if you don't agree with that, you're like, but I do see what the Christian people are saying, where it's like, oh, it does just kind of make sense that it's just supposed to be that. So I think you get to a point where you don't even really believe what you're saying. Some people do, but with things like that seem so simple and like quote unquote black and white, you don't believe it, but you just say it because everyone else that's what you're supposed to say, even if you feel differently. And And then for most people, they don't know, for a lot of Christians, they don't know a lot of gay people in their life. Like their siblings aren't gay or people in their family aren't gay or whatever. And so it doesn't hit them until somebody just like pops out of the closet and is like, hi. And then you have to reevaluate if you think that's okay or not.
Did you know any gay people growing up?
No, I don't think so. No one that was out.
Sure. Did you have like crushes on boys? So you were like, okay, so if that pots fit together, then like I can just marry this man.
Yeah, I mean, the Christian thing happened for me earlier than my sexuality, or than me figuring out any of my sexuality, which is really interesting because I was being like a good girl and not having sex.
Sure, but you didn't want to.
But like, I don't know if I would have been like super down had I, you know. It was like, oh, I'm being so great. And then I'm like, but I was like, I like guys. I don't know. I'm not like fully gay or whatever. So I was definitely tempted. And there were times where like things would get very close. See, tempted. That's like such a Christian-y thing to say.
Yeah.
Sure.
And there were times where it'd get close and we'd have to stop and be like, we can't do this.
Jesus.
Like,
so
we
you
can't.
dated Christian boys?
Yeah. I was almost engaged
What?
in college. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a few long-term relationships with guys, all like serious and great. And the last one, I knew it wasn't it, but I was so intrigued by him. He was like so mysterious and quiet and like just hot and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, you know, he's kind of boring, but it'll be fun. I don't know. I don't know what I thought looking back.
Kind of boring, but I can spend my life with this guy.
Yeah. As long as I can keep talking and he can be boring, it's fine.
He can listen.
And then he told my mom he was going to propose, and my mom told me, I think because she knew that I wasn't down. I think she was trying to be like,
Sure.
sis, if you want out, you got to get out now. And so then we broke up.
Wow.
You broke up like, I feel like you're going to propose to me and this is over?
No, I heard he was going to propose in like October of whatever year it was. And it was like May. And then those next few months, we just were fighting a lot. And I remember being like less, I've never said this out loud. I didn't try as hard to like fix things because I wanted it to end naturally without it being a thing about the engagement. I wanted it to be like, oh, we just didn't work and we knew it all along, you know? But yeah, but that was hard to let go of. Like, even though I started realizing I was gay during all that, which I did because I was living with this girl. That's a whole other story. I don't know if we're going to go there, but
We're going to go there.
Okay. I still had this feeling where I was like, it would just be so much easier to marry him. Like, it would be so easy. We could have kids. Like, people wouldn't look twice when we go to dinner. I would always think about walking down the aisle. Like, we wouldn't have to plan who's going to walk when. It's obvious. It's already planned out. And I think that's one of the things that just kept me in religion and in the closet longer, was just, I loved the comfort of having things planned out for me and not having to like, figure out a new way to live, you know?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I guess first we can get into the girl, the church girl, but I do have lots of burning questions for you afterwards, but let's continue the story.
Okay, cool. So
questions about what?
yeah,
About men?
yeah.
No. Just like your relationship with religion and God and, where you've left off now and blah, blah, blah.
Sure. But first we need to know about the gay
First, let's
awakening.
get through it. Yeah.
My gay awakening, I actually have a podcast episode. I used to have a podcast. I kind of don't anymore, but I guess I still am a podcast host at heart.
It still exists.
I have an episode with her where we talked about like our entire experience, which is actually really cool.
Wow.
But yeah, so we both lived together in this house called the Babe Barn, which was like 6 Christian girls at ASU. It was,
Oh my God.
I know. The house I lived in previously was called the Estro, short for the estrogen state.
Wow.
Okay.
So you were
I
like
know.
cool Christians.
We were cool
Like
Christians.
fun.
We were fun. Why does that make you think we were fun, but those are not fun?
Well, I guess I don't know any like Christians that are not very serious,
Oh.
you know?
No, we were fun.
Like
That's
the Babe Bond, like that's not, I wouldn't think like a group of 6 Christian girls at ASU would live at the Babe Bond.
cute. Yeah, well, we did. We were very cool. We were kind of bad Christians.
Bad
Whoa.
Christians. Did you guys drink or no?
We weren't allowed to because we were on leadership of this like Christian organization at the school, and you signed a thing that said you couldn't drink even if you were 21. Which
Okay,
was
so
you,
you
like, just
weren't
did not.
cool, actually.
some people did drink and they'd get kicked off leadership, so that's pretty cool.
Whoa.
Just kidding. Anyway,
they would go to
that's
hell,
not, that's actually not
obviously,
even a joke. But
right?
what?
And they would go to hell. I thought,
No, drinking. No.
no? You're allowed
So-
to drink
No.
Yeah.
and be Christian?
Of
Yes, you
course.
can. Yeah.
Oh, why did I not think that?
It's just we didn't because we felt, the group felt that if you were drinking, you were more likely to do like immoral things.
Sure.
And if you were on leadership, then you're more likely to lead younger people who can't legally drink to drink. And it just became this whole like,
Duh.
basically-
That's the fun
Yeah.
of it.
I know. I really look back and wish that I would have had more
I'm
fun in
fucking
college.
wasted.
Yeah, I really do. But what can you do? Anyway, so I was living in the Bay Barn, and this girl and I, at the same time, and I were breaking up. Oh, I've never said his name.
Oh,
Shit.
should we bleep that? We can.
Yeah, thanks. He won't care. He's not listening at all.
I posted photos of him the other day.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's
Oh my God, there's a
hunk.
spider on that couch.
Kill it. I mean,
that makes me
I'm
sick.
vegan. Don't do it.
Do
Do you want to?
No,
Take care of it?
it's okay. So we're in the Bay Barn. Me and this guy are breaking up. We might have already broken up at the time. Don't remember. But her and I start getting super close because I was in the worst of my anxiety spells that I've ever been in. She was so good at handling it, so calm, like, you know, just kind of the perfect storm where it's like when people get close kind of toxically, where you're codependent
Sure.
and you're whatever, but then you find out there's more and you're like, oh, is this even codependent or was it just love?
Hmm.
Oh.
But
Wow.
the answer is it's both, probably.
Sure.
Definitely. And so we just started being inseparable and everyone around us saw it. And I think looking back, everyone knew that we had more feelings for each other than we were playing, but nobody was saying anything and everyone's kind of turning a blind eye and acting like nothing's happening. And then we told each other we had feelings for each other, but it wasn't like a fun experience. It was like us confessing sin to each other and being like, oh, I'm having these immoral thoughts about you. Like, what do we do to not do this? Basically, like, how do we restructure our friendship so this doesn't happen?
Who brought that up? Like, how do you do that?
So she brought it up because she was telling me that this had happened to her in a past friendship. And I think she wanted me to know 95% because she didn't want to do what that girl did to her in her mind, which was just like her. But, you know, when you're religious, it's like she preyed on me.
Lust
or
over,
like,
yeah.
she made this beautiful thing toxic. I think 95% of that was her like warning me that like she was capable of that, and then the other 5% was probably her just
Like,
wanting me to know
want that.
Yeah, that like this could be an option. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I told her later that I had feelings for her, and she was like, oh my God, we can't do this. And then we did that for a while, and then we would just get physically closer like every day. Like we had two, this is so ridiculous. We started sharing a room at some point, and we had two like full beds maybe, or twins. I don't even remember. And we would sleep in the same bed.
How do you justify that? It's like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
We're like, we're just watching a movie or like we're just whatever, and like our other roommates of the Bay Barn would come in and we would like either scramble to try to like,
Oh, that's worse though.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, if
Straight
we
girls
heard
don't
it from
scramble if they're sharing a bed.
yeah, straight girls are like, so we would either scramble or just be like pretending we were looking at my phone together and whatever.
Were the other babes in the Babe Barn like upset or judgmental?
I would say about 2 of them were like, we did not want them to find out because we knew that they would
Like tell on
us.
Wow.
One of them is still one of my best friends to this day. Greatest ever. She knew since day one. We've talked about it since. She's like, you guys were so obvious. It was so whatever.
Sure.
And
Lesbians
she's great.
can't
She
hide.
wouldn't have. And we can't hide. And then there was another that I think was like on the, she could go either way. But you still never know. Like there are people that I thought would have been totally fine with it that have said, I would never come to your wedding.
Wow.
And then there are people that you think are gonna think you're the worst person in the world, and they're like, oh, do you? Like, I love you no matter what.
Do you still have people in your life that are like, I'm not going to come to your wedding?
I have really distanced myself as I've gotten older. There was like a few years where I tried to keep those relationships alive, and I wanted to be the one that like proved that you can be a good person and be gay, and it's not one or the other. But then as I got older, I was just kind of like, you suck. Like you're living in the past, and I'm not going to go out of my way to be like actively friends with you if you feel this way about me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have like a lot of respect for people that believe different things than me, even if it's like damning to me, like we talked about earlier with Susie Q and whatever, where like whatever their names are. It's like,
Check out the pre-show.
yeah, check out pre-show. If religion really matters to someone, it's like a way of life, and it's not just like a belief that they want to have. It's how they think the world is supposed to work. And so you can't, I don't know, the same way you want people to respect you, you have to give them that. And I look at those people now and I know that they think that I'm in this like, I'm in the lost zone, or they're praying for me to come back to God or whatever it is. And I'm like, thanks. Like, thanks for doing that.
You don't have
I
to.
don't believe that.
Yeah.
But if that makes
You
you
can
sleep
stop
better
if
at
you want.
night,
Yeah.
then that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be hard to, like, also, we sort of talked about this earlier, like, someone can love you but still think you're going to hell. And, like, it's got to be hard to reconcile with that. Like, oh, like, these people might still love me but think that, like, I will be damned to eternal hell while they, like, go up and relax. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's actually so paradoxical about it is that they think that that is the most loving thing that they can do is try to get you to come back to God. Like them praying for you and them not giving you, not letting you just go live in sin is their way of being like, no, you don't understand. I am doing everything I can to show you I love you. Like real love is me fighting for you, not me letting you go live this like sinful life. So it's weird when you look at that, you're like, oh, I know you love me. It's just, we are really showing our love in completely different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Usual Wines, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Usual Wines are wines for the modern drinker. Each bottle is 6.3 ounces, which is a heavy pour or like about a glass and a half of wine. No more pouring wine down the drain when you can't finish the bottle, because the single serve format and the bottle design Usual is always fresh. So there's no more flat bubbly or stale rosé. The wines are low carb and have 0 grams of sugar, which, what? Hello? Okay. Usual has a red blend, a rosé, sparkling white wine called Brut. They also have a limited production Brut rosé just for summer.
Yeah, and usual wines are made from world-class American areas like Napa, Sonoma, Santa Barbara, and are made with minimal intervention, zero sugar, and zero additives. Um, and yeah, I mean, usual wines are great. I got some in the mail from Usual. They're super cute, firstly, but also they taste really yummy. I've had the red and the rosé so far. And I really liked both of them. And also, they are just like the perfect portion, I think. So, yeah, highly, highly recommend Usual Wines. Super tasty and cute and easy. Especially if you're someone like me who doesn't really know much about wines. It's easy. It's just great to like get good wines to you that I don't really have to think about, you know? So, yeah, Usual Wines also has a special holiday product coming in early November. So it's already available called Usual Reserve. It's an ultra premium limited edition Mount Vidier Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is their most special wine yet, just in time for the holidays. Hailing from one of the most celebrated plots of land in Napa, this Cabernet Sauvignon is concentrated and rich with just enough grip. Gift it to someone special or gift it to yourself, baby. The holidays as usual. So go check out their website at www.usualwines.com and use our discount code DATING for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us. Seriously, you guys, I love it.
Do it. Thanks, Usual Wines.
So I want to know now, obviously, you've kind of, what's the opposite of come to Jesus? Like, you've come from Jesus.
Distance from
You've
Jesus.
come from Jesus. And
We're social distancing.
I'm
currently.
interested in knowing like what has sort of stuck with you and what hasn't. So like I want to know your thoughts on like the afterlife now.
Yeah. It's really hard. I think about my experience with religion a lot and how much I miss it. And I try to figure out what I miss about it all the time. Parts of it are just like the hope and the meta. It's just nice to think about things that are not
Like real and happening. Not that it's
no. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like not that it's not real. It just feels
just
like
It's beyond you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just so much bigger. It's like what's floating above the surface. It's like thinking about space almost. It feels like the same vibe where you're like, oh, it's so magical or there's something more and whatever. So I miss that. I don't think that I have found a replacement for whatever that is. And I miss the community. Like there is something really special. I remember when I first moved down to LA, I would always tell Cam, like, I want to have like a supper club with like all our friends down here. I want to do like Sunday church, even if that's like brunch in the backyard where we like talk about politics one week and something else another and whatever. I miss
do that.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
fun.
would love to do that. I miss getting together with people and talking about something other than like dumb shit. And I think religion just lent itself to that really well for me.
It forces you to ask questions and question everything.
Yeah, and it just my whole experience with Christianity and religion, I felt like it just melded so well to my personality and like what I like to do and what I like to think about. And I just haven't found a replacement for that. And so I have this like, you asked like where I'm at now, I just have this like emptiness that I think Christians would say is me missing God. I know they would say that is that like, oh, she's so empty now. I miss the religion of it. I miss like the organization of it, I guess.
Yeah. That's why we have gay
so
kickball,
You were
though.
saying that. That's true.
That's why what?
They have gay kickball.
Yes. That's a form of church. That's a thing.
Well, you were telling me that you would be a really good cult leader.
I know I would. I really do
And
be
I
knowing
kind of have to agree. I'm like, okay, Sunday brunch where we talk about the moon. I'm fucking down.
Yeah.
But I want to know, when did you decide, like, okay, this is not for me. This is like a chapter that I'm gonna have to close. How did you like distance yourself from that?
Yeah, it happened for me and it happened in me in the same at the same time. I got kicked off leadership. So Emily and I applied to go.
Should I bleep that?
No, it's fine because she's on my podcast.
Okay.
So it's fine.
So they know.
Yeah. We applied to go on a mission trip that both of us had already been on separately, like before us being with each other.
And a mission trip is where you go and like try and make other people come to
Convert.
Jesus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We tried to go on one in China for a month, and we applied, and there was no way we shouldn't have we should have been let down or like been told we couldn't go, because I had been, she had been. I was like, I had led mission trips at this point. I was a prime candidate. I was ready.
Yeah. And then you'd be good at it too.
Thank you. And
What?
hi, Cam. Cam just like is like floating behind the camera like a little ghost. They're okay. And on the application, you know, they ask a series of questions, and then they ask moral questions, like things that would be in direct opposition of you being fit for a mission trip. And one of them was like, have you been sexually attracted to or sexually active with someone of the same sex? And I remember when Emily and I were both filling it out, we were like, do we lie? Like, what do we say right now? Because we were both trying to not be gay and be with each other at the same time. And we thought like, oh, maybe we could overcome it. I don't know. And we were like, let's just be honest. Let's say we are, but we're like trying to figure it out still. And then they called us into their office like a few days later, and they were like, hey, I'm really sorry. We're going to have to turn you guys down. Like you know, it sounds like you guys aren't willing to let this go. And that's like, we can't let you guys go on the same trip if you're like being together.
Sure. Just vacation to China with your girlfriend.
And then they said, and Taryn, you need to like get off leadership. Like you're basically off.
Why not? Why could she stay on leadership?
I think looking back, I think that they sensed, or maybe I said that I was less, I thought it was less of a sin. Like I didn't actually think it was that bad.
Okay.
And Emily was very convinced that like it was not okay. So maybe they thought she was literally worth saving
Devout,
more.
yeah.
Like, yeah, like that she could get out of it easier. And so that started this like falling cards of me, you know, being pushed out of every community that I had built for myself. And then started questioning like, okay, if these people could so easily say that like, I'm not one of them, or that like, I'm going to hell because X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to look at the bigger picture of whatever this thing was that I signed up for the last 10 years and see if that's actually something I want to believe in. Because if all of these people are just being assholes about it, maybe it's not what I want to do with my life.
Did your parents know that this was going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was like, they're not at all I told you so people. They're very like, we're here for you. We love you. But I'm sure that's how they felt.
Yeah.
Like had to have been.
And that's how they found out that you were attracted to women as well?
I had told my mom, I was at a coffee shop like a few months earlier, and she called me, and I walked outside, and I was bawling on the side of this like really busy street next to Arizona State. And it was this coffee shop that all of our friends went to. So I remember being so nervous someone was going to walk by. I was standing outside, and I was bawling, and I was like, Mom, I kissed Emily. I'm so like, whatever. And she's like, that's okay. Like, that's okay. Tell me about her. Like, tell me what she's like. And do you like her? And she sounds great and all this stuff. And it just,
Go mom.
I know.
Yeah, that
Her
is so
response
sweet.
was
Natural.
literally magic. And I felt like I had spent so many years like asking the church to be my family when like I had the greatest family ever. And I think like coming out, I just realized that even if I just kind of fell out, which is what I did, I don't feel like I ever actually came out. I just kind of was like, well, I'm getting pushed out, and I'm also waltzing out. Like, I don't know what's happening. I realized that like the people in my life that were not Christian were better Christians. We're like
Yeah.
better
Lovers.
Accepting
lovers
people,
and more godlike, and taught me more about what I wanted to be and who I cared about and all these things than the people that I had like put so much trust and faith in. And it was cool. So yeah, I just over time started getting further and further away. And I think when I moved out of Arizona back to California and then eventually up to San Francisco where nobody is religious, it just became harder and harder to even like brush elbows with religion. I just felt so far away from it. And then it isn't even until really like the pandemic and moving back down here that I've been thinking about it again, just because it, you know, after like 5.5, 6 years in San Francisco where no one talks about God, you're like a freaking weirdo if you mention God up there.
Is LA not like that?
No.
Actually, people love to go to like Mosaic.
Yeah.
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 People love that.
It's trendier down here.
Yeah.
Like it's cooler to go to church here than it is in other big cities, I think. So, yeah, I think my story's not over with it, is what I'm trying to say. I think I'll find a happy medium somewhere in there, but I don't imagine I'll ever call myself like a Christian again, or that like the whole Jesus thing is going to be my thing.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
going to get saved
Yeah.
at this point.
No.
Perhaps you'll move
Yeah.
to a more spiritual understanding
Yeah,
than in like
yeah.
organized religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll just start my own religion.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Try it.
Try it. Do it.
Okay, so you mentioned that you moved to LA during a pandemic.
Yes, I did.
How was that decision? Like, why did you decide to do that? And how has it been so far?
Yeah. I had been wanting to get back to, I'm from Orange County, which is like an hour away from LA. And I've been wanting to get back down here for years. And the pandemic was kind of a perfect like little pushing stone. Interesting, Taryn. Pushing stone. Pushing
What were you trying to say?
I meant stepping stone, but I then maybe like
But a push.
a little push.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
Little pushing stone.
Emma Stone.
I love
I just
Emma
lose my
Stone.
mind. Yeah,
The
so
Emma Stone is our
sensation
god.
game.
yeah, we love.
Ooh,
We do be loving.
Okay, I'll try it.
So I moved down. I was at the same job my entire time up. I was up in San Francisco, and at the beginning of the pandemic, I lost my job there, didn't work there anymore, and was like, okay, what do I want to do? How am I gonna? What's up? And I just moved. I was newly dating Cam, and I hope assume that this is the last new relationship I will ever have, and so it was like, we both were like, let's just do it. Let's hop in and make it work. And it has certainly been an experience. It's been amazing, but
I
it's
remember
a lot.
watching you guys at the top of the pandemic when I was at home.
The top of the panty, I love.
Top of the panty. And I was obviously like just at home alone, which you wouldn't be able to do in LDR at all during those times.
No.
So like you didn't really have an other option anyway.
Yeah.
But I remember watching you guys just like fucking vibing all the damn time, and I was like, fuck those bitches. Like, I'm so jealous.
It was fun. It's like, and it is fun. It's just a really weird experience.
Is Frank gonna eat her?
What's going on? Oh, the dogs.
Yeah, Frank is being drama right now.
Regan's just laid next to him like, so
but it's
calmly,
so
and Frank's
cute.
being so mean.
She's like, maybe he won't notice that I'm here.
Can you hear him?
No,
like, will
I
you'd
can't.
be able to pick that up?
And even if Frank is growling.
Okay.
It's like,
I miss Frank.
Frank is saying really mean things to Regan.
yeah, he's fighting.
Yeah, we were vibing, and it was very fun. And I think the only reason that I felt comfortable, I'm generally pretty slow moving in relationships. Like, I don't move in with people quickly. I don't know, maybe it's the Christian in me that's like wants to, not just like hop in and
Yeah.
do all the
No
things.
sex before
Sex
marriage.
after
No
marriage.
sex before. Yeah.
Oh, so you guys are waiting. That's nice.
But yeah, we've never. But I've known Cam for 5 years before we started dating. So I was like, oh, I've kind of always liked this person. And if I'm getting the chance to date her, I'm pretty sure that it's like the real fucking deal. So it was very fun to at the beginning of the pandemic to be in like the honeymoon phase when you're living with each other and you can't see anyone else. Like it felt like when at the end of The
like you
Bachelor.
wouldn't do it anyway. Like you wouldn't want to see anyone else anyway.
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah. Well, it couldn't be
honeymooning.
like a toxic honeymoon phase where you like shut everyone out because you literally had to. Like, what a perfect
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
It was
best of
great.
both worlds.
But it literally felt like that at the end of The Bachelor when like the couple has to go hide away for like 2 months and live in some random apartment.
Dale and Claire.
Yeah. Okay. Literally hate them. Yeah. So it was really fun. I think like the last few months have been sobering and they're amazing and we're still very happy. But like you're now in a real relationship that you're stuck in the same house
like,
all the
on top
time,
of each
and you're
other.
like, oh, this is also still a new relationship. It's really interesting. I'm learning a lot. It's fun though.
Okay, Taryn, this has been a lovely episode. Thank you so much for joining us on Dating Straight.
I loved it.
It's been a pleasure. Where can the people find you?
Just around.
No, you like dropped the Addy. The Taryn Arnold.
Yeah, the Taryn Arnold, which is Taryn, and then Arnold is pretty clear. Just on anything. That's
Very
where you'll
cool.
find me.
Sweet.
Thanks for listening. I'm Amy Oddman,
I'm Jack Dodge, and that's Frank and Taryn.
and this is Dating Straight. See you next Tuesday.
We could be broken-hearted lovers.